Hey, you. Yeah, you. Rat City by Night is a 6-part Vampire the Masquerade miniseries from Game Master Monday. Content warnings include kidnapping, muggings, organized crime, vampire genre typical violence, you know the kind, death, mentions of blood, suicidal ideation, teenaged NPCs in violent situations, religious references, and, of course, rats. Please take care of yourself and, enjoy the show.
New York City, the cultural capital of the world, a beacon of hope and opportunity for those brave enough to make the journey. A city where anything is possible, a city that inspires even the lowest among us, a city known for its rats. Deep below the belly of the 5 boroughs, down amongst the sewers and pipes of the city of dreams, lies another city. In and of itself a cultural capital, a city where the most outcast species inhabiting Earth has declared home. This is Rat City. A metro by rats for rats. Rats come by foot, by train, by ship, by air, just for the possibility of seeing its towering spires and dreaming that life can hold more for a creature small as they are. After millennia of staring up at a world that was not built for them, they now have a place that they can solely call their own. Modeled after the surface world they know so well, a rat can come here, gain an education, get a job, start a family, and live their days in bliss as they chase every rat's dream. But listener, I don't need to tell you this, I'm sure. Not all dreams manifest for all rats. For what place is truly devoid of problems, of debts, of sorrows? Certainly not any place you and I can think of, and certainly not Rat City. Being underground, sunshine is a rare commodity. In Rat City, they are victim to the whims of wet weather should it choose to pulverize their neighbors to the north. Suffice it to say that anything can happen in Rat City, and anything can happen in Rat City. Just like other places, there is crime, there is chaos, there is corruption, but there is also family ties that bond us and joys to be sought in every nook and cranny of this city. And as any visitor to any city is likely to want to do first, the first thing you and I see in Rat City is a restaurant. Jenna, when we see this restaurant, what is it called? Who do we see running it? And who do we see greeting its customers?
Absolutely. So this restaurant slash jazz club, it's illuminated by red, kind of blinking neon lights. It's called Francesca's, named after, my mom. And you'll kind of hear a low saxophone coming from around the corner, and a big, beefy bouncer standing outside in a white suit. Purely just kind of for, I don't want to say stature, but more like statement, I'll say. And it's always clean, somehow.
You are let in, audience. I control things here, so you're on the list. As you enter Francesca's, you hear the soothing sounds of a saxophone, a low jazz hum, the chatter of various rats enjoying drinks, meals, conversation, all away from the ever-judging eye of the public. And inside this jazz club, Jenna, where would we find Carmela?
Oh, obviously on stage. She is wearing a dark red crimson sequined rat dress. And she is singing something that draws people in, but something that you can still have a conversation over, but enticing enough to want people to listen also. All the chairs are, so if there's circular tables, the chairs are at a formation where you're facing the stage. So a true jazz club where there's no seats where the backs are to the stage.
You're on stage, you're performing as you often do. Many would say that Carmela is the distinctive feature of Francesca's. If you're not going there for the food and conversation, you're definitely going there to hear Carmela sing. At the conclusion of your performance, you hear the tiny smattering slaps of rat hands clapping together, and you begin to descend backstage, where waiting for you in a rare appearance at the jazz club at Francesca's is your father, Giancarlo, with his arms outstretched towards you. What would we see when we see your father?
Big Italian rat man. Big broad rat shoulders. He's always wearing a suit. This one is pinstripes, charcoal, and he outstretches his little rat hands and, the double cheek kiss. And I give him a warm hug.
A sight to see for anyone. The image of their father, who they adore so dearly, in that adoration is returned to you. He gives you a big hug, and he is kind of like, in that way that only a large Italian rat can, says, "Carmela, mi principessa, another beautiful performance, my beloved."
Daddy, it's so good to see you.
Always a pleasure to be able to stop by the old club, as it were. I fear I'm here on business, but what kind of father would I be if I didn't see my pride and joy?
Do you need help?
As a matter of fact, I do. You know me so well. See, we have an arrangement, as you know, with the Rat Cathedral, and it is time for our monthly donation to that fine establishment. I would normally handle that, send one of the boys to go take care of it, but we have other business to attend to, and, well, frankly, daughter, I'm getting a little long in the tooth. So, I figured, why not give you the practice you so deserve, establish a connection with the good ratster there, and he hands you, like, this large sack, a cloth, almost made of, like, sock material, that is full of cheeses and foods and currencies, and says, "This is our donation, an exchange of protections, if you will, and since one day this," and then he does us an air quote, "club will be," in air quote, "yours," I figured it's high time you become more acquainted with him.
Sure. And she's going to look at very kind of over exaggerated, be like, "Your teeth look just fine to me, though."
You keep me young, truly. He's like gesturing like some of the grays in his fur, and kind of touching at his teeth a little nervously. But he says, he puts a paw on your shoulder, and just says, "But I mean it. One day this will all be yours. This will be your empire, your city to lead."
Damn fucking right.
Damn. Now watch your language. You have to reserve that for special occasions.
Sorry, Dad.
It's okay. We swear to those beneath us, after all, not those above.
Right.
Now, as always, Rathew will be with you, and go ahead and make that delivery for me, and then we'll talk about proper succession, you and I.
Sounds good.
Okay. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go use some special terms for a special person in the restaurant. And he leaves from backstage, and you see a few other large rats escort a patron to a back room in the jazz club. which lets you loose in Rat City, your father giving you the task to visit the Ratthedral, the religious epicenter of Rat City. Now, I don't need to tell you this, Carmela. You live it every single day. But every rat family, or at least most rat families, have a rat saint that they devote themselves to and worship. Your families, of course, being Ratsthew. So when you enter the Rat Cathedral, tell me, what sort of memories, visions, and feelings come to you? Are you a firm believer in the family tradition, or are you more new and nuanced in your views of the saints?
I think Carmela is, I don't want to say agnostic or apathetic, but towing the line a little bit there. She'll go to mass with her family and kind of uphold appearances, but she's not saying prayers every night or anything like that. She has fond memories of going to like the cathedral feasts because she really likes the foods and things like that, but she never really understood the bigger vision there. So it kind of fell a little flat for her, but maybe she's starting to see it a little bit more.
As a rat who's about to inherit possibly the largest organization in Rat City, are you a frequent flyer or more of an occasional visitor?
Depends what she needs to be.
And what are you today?
Well, today she's a frequent flyer, of course.
Of course. You enter the Ratthedral. It's a quieter part of the day. The Ratthedral is, of course, always open for anyone who needs its doors. It is a large white building made of smaller stones with various pews and benches on the inside. You see some rats, heads bowed down in prayer. An older gentleman in their usual spot. You probably see him more often than not whenever you're here. And at the head of this Ratthedral, lighting candles and perusing through books of stories of saints and heroes, you see the pastor, a known person to you. This is, of course, Ratster Matthias Templeton, the person who you owe this donation to.
And I think you'll just hear the little click-clack of Carmela's rat heels as she's walking down. And she's kind of admiring all the stained glass imagery. That's one thing she does like about the cathedral. She loves the imagery. She likes the drama. She likes the gothic nature of it all.
As you see these stained glasses, each depicting a different miracle from a different rat saint, a rat holding a sword in the air after defeating a cat, a rat traveling through the streets of some unknown city with a strange hook-nosed creature, rats saving cities from floods, providing foods, sheltering those, providing needed entertainment, and the like, one even driving a car. You approach the ratster, who has already turned to greet you and says, a pleasure to see you at the Ratthedral. I feel like it's been a good amount of time since we've seen you here, Miss LaServa.
Well, I am here to make a donation.
It must be that time then. Well, we are grateful for what your family has been offering to our stash for the less fortunate. I'll go ahead and take that, thank you.
Absolutely. I hope you remember our generosity.
It's hard not to. It is hard not to. As a keeper of the stories, the thing that we always note is the generosity of our fellow rats. Those who have much should give much, as we say here. Speaking of, I feel like it's been a moment since we were graced with your presence. How is your faith in your saint these days?
Oh, unwavering.
I am glad to hear it. The feast's going well?
Every Sunday.
As it should be for those who follow your particular saint. And he kind of like just escorts you towards a piece of stained glass where we see a depiction of a blonde-looking rat, a huge spread of foods out in front of them, a large city surrounding this person, and he gestures to it and says, "Now, I'm not going to ask you this as a test of your faith, merely as something I like to hear as a keeper of the tales, but what about Ratview's story is so important to you?"
Well, I think it's always pretty important to feed those that might need it.
And who are those in your life, if you don't mind my asking, Miss Lacerba?
Well, the family, of course.
And to you, who is family? Is that merely blood, or is it extended?
It could always be extended. People you love, people you share recipes with.
I see you follow the teachings then. All right, excellent. I would challenge you, if you will, to
A challenge?
broaden your definition of family.
Ah, I like challenges.
I think if one is to properly serve the people, one must see them as family in and of themselves.
Well, I already have 6 brothers. It's a pretty big
You have
family.
a large biological family, to be sure, and one day I'm told you will oversee it. I invite you to view your fellow rat as your family as your station increases.
I will do my best. How does one deem others worthy of being family?
I think that's the exact challenge there.
Ah, shit. Alright. Oh,
One must cease to deem.
is it okay to curse in here?
Ordinarily, no, but you've been so generous that I've learned to let certain things slide from the Lacerba family.
That's good. Don't tell my dad.
Oh, I don't imagine I'll have much reason to speak with your father unless he has a specific complaint. His donations are usually made, let's say by proxy, if you will.
Well, that's a relief.
I don't have to see John Carlo unless something has gone egregiously wrong in the community. So I'll be interested to see how you handle that. I hope to see you in our sermons more going forward.
I'm sure I'll be here soon.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure you are busy, and he gestures to the crowd of maybe 3 rats present, one of whom is asleep. I have my own flock to attend to here, so I will leave you to your duties for the day. Thank you for bringing this. I'll be sure to make sure that those who are hungry get it.
And you. My thanks to you.
If you ever want to stay, you're more than welcome.
Maybe one day soon.
Take care of yourself, Miss Lacerba. Stay safe out there.
Likewise.
And so you depart, your mission accomplished. With that out of the way, your duty to your father fulfilled, your singing at the jazz club completed. What would be next on a typical day for you, Carmela?
She would stop by the pie shop, grab a quick little slice of pie. She would probably run a few errands. Maybe stop by a bar for a quick little glass of wine, quick little bite, little aperitivo.
A rapperativo?
Aperitivo.
This is the whole series, gang. This is what it's going to be like. Beautiful. I think we follow you on your journey to the pie shop. What's waiting for you there? What do you like about going to the pie shop?
Well, obviously, she loves seeing her best friend. She loves all the baked goods. She usually goes for the bombalones. The mini ones, because she thinks they have a better dough to filling ratio.
As you daydream about the small Italian pastries, your best friend waiting for you at the pie shop, you hear the unmistakable and not pleasant sound of tires screeching, loud voices coming from the side of the road. Yes, we do have vehicles in Rat City. They tend to find themselves in the sewer often, and as we know, a former rat saint taught the other rats how to transport these vehicles. Some used for good, some used for normal, but this one used for something more despicable. You hear a smattering of screaming voices, Carmela. Things like, get her, grab her, get her legs, hit her in the back of the head, a sharp pain going through your neck.
Yeah, she's thrashing and putting up a fight.
Of course you are.
Yes.
Of course you are.
She's scratching with her stiletto nails.
You feel contact, you hear screaming, you feel yourself trying to be forced into the trunk of a toy car, and someone finally speaks up, and you see a brief image of this solid gray rat with one glowing golden eye approaching you with a large heavy object and says, well, there's one way to make him stop squirming.
Hey, fucker, you want to lose another one?
A crash on your skull, nothing you can do to stop it. Unfortunately, the sheer number of them overpowering you. When you come back to consciousness, you find yourself tied in a location you don't recognize, surrounded by boxes, tied against a large pole, a retaining rod of this structure that you don't recognize, and you hear whispers back and forth saying things like, boss, I think we might have done too much. She's kind of fading in and out. We can't really get information if she can't remember. And he's like, I've been trying to take down this fucking family for too many fucking months of my life. I have such little time to give, and now we're at the precipice of being able to topple the goddamn service, and you're thinking I should go easy on her? And you're just hearing this debate back and forth, and before you can think of how to respond to it, you see two lowlier rats approaching you.
I'm going to bite your fucking whiskers out and feed them to you.
I don't see how you can do that tied to a pole as you are.
Untie me.
Why would I do that? That'd be so stupid to do that. You just said you'd bite my whiskers off.
Come here. Come here. Get over here.
No.
Come here. Come here. Well, oh, you scared? What? You just said I'm tied to a pole. What am I gonna do? Come here.
Oh my god, she's so chatty. Like, yeah, that's why we don't engage the way you're new. I understand, but we gotta, like, you know, we're not here to debate her. Oh, okay. And one of them just kind of saunters up to you, has like a tiny switchblade in their hand, a very tiny switchblade, probably toothpick sized, and kind of just holds it up against where your neck ought to be, and says, our goal is very simple. We want to know what exactly your father is up to today. If you tell us, you live. If you don't, well, we have rats everywhere in the city. We'll find out eventually, but you can make it real quick and easy.
Being the best damn dad he ever was.
Do you know where he's being Father of the Year?
Multiple locations. Who's to say?
You feel like a pressing into your skin. A slight cutting is starting to happen. You can feel the beginning of blood trickling out, and just as that begins to happen, the larger rat hollers from the back, "Did she respond?"
Oh, that's cute. I love foreplay.
As you get one final quip out against this rival team, a jolt, a surprise, this other rat's fear taking control. Where they were once thinking they had this, now the sound of their boss and knowing who's under their knife comes into full effect, and they push too far. More blood than intended pouring out from you. A struggling to choke. Carmela, you don't know what this means for you, but as you're feeling your consciousness fade again, what are some final thoughts crossing through your mind?
I think she's proud that she protected the family. I think she's pissed she didn't get one last bomb balloon. And I think she's also pissed that her last word was foreplay. But she's also, like, a little concerned. She's concerned because, like, this did happen pretty close to the pie shop, so she wants to make sure that, like, Pidge didn't see. So, It's a little cloudy up there.
Away from the eyes and thoughts of those who would care the most about you, but maybe that is a small comfort in these final moments. Your head droops over the ropes holding you there. You are conscious enough to hear things like, oh shit, oh fuck, oh no, and then the larger rat that you were yelling at earlier, threatening to bite his other eye out, starts screaming demands like, fucking idiots, you fucking idiots. You hear a ricochet, a violent slap, a stab, a punishment, another body hit a floor. Your almost corpse, untied, droop, limp and lifeless in the hands of a rat that could not give less than a fuck about you. And the last thing you feel in this mortal coil is the thunk of your body and the sound of rushing water near something that could have carried you down, could have removed evidence of you, but perhaps someone too incompetent to do so made another mistake. And just before everything goes dark, you are carried one final time to where we'll find out later. Carmela never made it to the pie shop, but one other person did. At the corner of a busy street, there is a pie shop of no small note in Rat City, one that has existed in a lovely family for generations and is now under new ownership. The pie shop simply known as Pidge's Pie in the Sky. And a frequent customer is stopping by to pick something up, as is their newfound like and tradition. Zoop, who do we see when we see Anand?
Anand is a deeply academic rat. You see a tall rat wearing a long, you might consider it a tunic or a kurta, a shawl on his shoulder, these wire rim glasses perched on his nose. He is a handsome rat, but in an academic way, a quiet way. He is here to pick up the maraschino cherry pie for his mentor. It's one of his favorite things to eat on a day when Anand needs to meet with him and discuss some things about his upcoming projects. It's always good to bring a treat, and he's very, very fond of Nikolai. He's also fond of this pie shop. It is very warm and comforting and welcoming, and so it's a 2-for-1 deal.
A familiar feeling to anyone who might enter this pie shop. Its owner notably pleasant, bubbly, and easy to talk to, but currently not at their station. This is an early morning visit for you as you go to speak with your mentor at the Rat University, and you see another rat kind of mending the counter here today, organizing some of the pie, straightening things out, making sure the labels are out in front, and they give you a very enthusiastic wave hello as you come in. It says, hello, welcome to Pidge's. Are you picking up or placing an order?
This person must be new, and he wants to extend Rat City hospitality even as a customer. And he says, yes, please, good morning. One slice of your maraschino cherry pie, please.
Oh, you're very lucky. We just finished baking a lot of those, and we're quickly running out of them. Let me go grab one for you. They kind of go into the back room. You hear some plates clattering, a small muttering of like, oh, I can't wait till she gets in. It's so hard by myself. I'm so anxious. And then she just kind of comes up holding a single slice of pie and goes, okay, there you go. That will be our typical right there, and whatever you're willing to offer here.
Anand drops a couple pieces. I think as humans, we would look at it and be like, what is this, dust? Like, What is this, sand? But in the rat's paws, it is little pieces of mica, shiny, drops into the paw, and he takes his package. He wishes this new employee a good day and gives compliments to the chef, and heads out on his way to Rat City University.
Rat City, of course, operating on a bartering system, exchanging things that they deem worthy for the services rendered. In this case, Micah, you head towards Rat City University, and you are an academic, one looking to make a difference in the world. Anand, tell me about the university. What are you studying, and what are your dreams with an education?
Anand is a very talented civil engineer. He has come from Ratsfield to Rat City University, the first university of its kind known, to learn more about making a strong working community for rat kind. Eventually, he will return home and help Ratsfield grow into the next, Rat City, although it will always be called Ratsfield. But that's not important right now. What is important is creating a place of safety and comfort for rat kind.
A noble endeavor, if ever there was one. You coming from one of the many pockets of smaller rat civilizations trying to find their footing in the shadow and the wake of the success of Rat City. Other rats trying to find a place for themselves that doesn't require traveling as far. You have been chasing this dream under the mentorship of a specific doctor here at the Rat University. Who do we see when we see your mentor?
So we see Nikolai Lapidus. He is a svelte gentleman. It got a little bit of like gray fur. He's definitely not the oldest rat ever, but on the older side, and whip smart. So smart about all of the different ways in which we can improve rat society. He's kind and quiet and a little bit of like a dry sense of humor, easily amused, but like, again, in a quiet way. And a big fan of the maraschino cherry pie.
A knock on your mentor's office door. It's not office hours, but there's always office hours for you after all. The door opens. He looks like he hasn't been sleeping well recently. A little baggy under the eyes. He's not an old rat by any means yet, but you can see the early stages of age creeping into this 2-year-old body of a rat. And he opens the door, sees you, looks at the pie, looks at the watch that is hanging on his wall, and whispers, "I did not realize it was pie time. Normally my clock will tell me when it's pie time. Come in, come in."
Oh, well, we'll have to put another mark that it's pie time.
I'll have to let Barry know that my clock is not on pie time anymore to fix that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hopefully I will see him tonight during Mahjong Club.
I'm sure he'll be there. If there's one consistent thing about my husband is that he will be playing Mahjong. I did not realize we had a meeting planned. Was there a question you wanted to ask me?
I mean, yes. He puts down the pie and rolls out. He pulls from his side, opens a drawing, and he smooths out. And you look at it, and it is some ideas for a road system to be added to Rat City. He has thought carefully about where all of the rat dwellings are and where we could make space for the toy cars. in a way that does not disrupt anybody's housing. I've been thinking as we find more of these cars, these vehicles, that perhaps we can make Rat City more accessible.
I think the vision is good here. I mean, everything is mathematically and scientifically and ethically sound. The question, as it always is in this city, is the local government. They seem to like how things currently are, and prompting them to make changes, even positive ones, has been, well, difficult.
Yes, I wonder if maybe it would be good to connect with the political science rats.
That would likely get your foot in the door. They would probably look for some bartering reason why this would be good, what kind of benefit it would give for local businesses or whatever keeps, or, in the hands of more nefarious bosses. Who am I to surmise? But listen, for what it's worth, you are very talented, very intelligent, and you are wanting to make changes that will impact places for the better, and I think your head's in the right place. If you can make the change in Rat City, then certainly other rat pockets of life would want to emulate that sort of thing, but I'm not going to lie to you, it's an uphill battle, and you'll likely be fighting it for the rest of your ratly life.
Yes, it's when I thought about joining in the engineering of rat cities, I don't think I had fully considered the social implications.
We are a social animal, after all.
Speaking of which, sir, are you doing okay? You look tired.
I am tired. You know my husband, of course. He's been getting older and, approaching an age that not many rats approach. And, I'm not exactly a newborn or anything myself. My best months are behind me, but I worry that in his older age, he's becoming more distant, seems to be preparing for something, and I wish I knew what. I wish they would let me in on those decisions, because I worry. I know that nothing is forever, and in the grand scheme of things, especially compared to the world we so respectfully emulate, our lives are short, and not all of us perform a miracle, but I wish you would understand that.
If anyone could perform a miracle, it's Baba. He will last as long as the clocks are ticking. I truly believe that.
In many ways, he's the reason they tick. So, I don't know. Perhaps it's just stress and anxiety, which is causing me to spend more time in the office. I should probably just... I'm sure if we brought the kids over, the granddaughter, maybe that we could get to the bottom of it.
Spend some time with Baba today. Please leave the office. I will work with the younger students.
Oh, there's no classes today, actually.
Okay.
I canceled them so I could focus on further material. Time is short, after all, and I'd rather it be spent wisely.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I will take care of the further material.
Oh, well, you're appreciated. And you know what? Yes. You know what? Yes. And he just kind of stands up and goes to his little desk. It's like a Fisher-Price desk, opens a few things there, pulls out some small pieces of scrap paper, rolls them up like scrolls for you, and says, I've been working on these blueprints specifically, and the students just do not seem to understand what causes a building not to move and shake with the sounds of the roaring machinery above us. So if you could spend some time talking about how to neutralize that, I can go and figure out what's going on with Baba.
Anand suppresses a little shiver of glee, thinking about buildings and protecting them from vibrations, and the strange movement of earth is one of his favorite things. And he will head out for a while and sit at his desk, make measurements, make models. He builds a model of the building and then gets little rocks. It's sitting on a platform. He tries shaking it. He sees how if they make, triangle beams, are those better than the square beams? Does perhaps sticking heavier objects on top of the building help it withstand the shaking? And then before he knows it, it is an afternoon time, and he thinks maybe it's time for a coffee.
You are released. You go to your favorite coffee place. Tell me about this particular stand. Where do you go to in Rat City to get it, and who's manning it for you? Or rather, ratting it.
Phil Ratrattle. When you see him, he is almost bombastic. He is large. There are muscles that are surprising on a coffee cart street vendor. And he speaks with a wisdom and a clarity. If you get to speak with him for longer, you get to know him, you get to meet him. He is the epitome of Rat City in terms of taking care of other people. He came from a scavenging lifestyle outside of Rat City and has, far sooner than Anand. He's been in the city for much longer than Anand, but that he's lived a life out there in the wilds outside of Rat City, and then come here and created a place of safety and beauty. And he makes sure that Rat City keeps moving with his coffee.
As anyone who has traveled to a new, strange, but exciting land will tell you, any job can feel important when you're doing it for the benefit of future descendants of your bloodline. As you come to this coffee stand, you see Phil, as you typically do, reading a newspaper, reading the comings and goings of Rat City, a large headline plastered on the side of the paper facing you, simply reading, daughter and heir to the Lacerva family fortune missing, presumed dead.
Phil, what's the news today?
Paper frantically comes down. You see a small look of concern. Have you seen this?
The Lacerva family, they're big around here.
Very big, very well connected. I don't know. I feel that there's been a quiet truce between the families in town, and this is concerning. I'm so sorry. You do not come here for the news of the world. You come here for coffee and energy. I'm so.
Phil,
how are you?
You know that I come here for both. You are my conduit to the city.
I like to stay informed. That's good to know what's happening in the city you call home, and I worry for it, and I hope this can be resolved quietly and kindly. Did you go to school today? You're here a little bit later than usual.
Yes, I've been playing with my models all day. It really makes me sound like a little child, but
Ah, but where do we first learn the things that excite us but in childhood, my friend?
Absolutely.
When I was a young rat, I wanted to travel, and now look at me.
Oh, you have traveled far, Phil.
Mm-hmm. A long, long boat ride, aged many months upon it, but it was all worth it.
You do give the best coffee in town. I don't think Rat City could function without you.
I guess we'll find out one day,
What?
as it comes for us all. But
Oh,
not anytime soon.
Phil, don't say such things.
That's probably just the nervousness of this feels like we're taut on a string right now with this news of the La Serva air. So, but let me prepare you what you came here to have. Do you have a shiny button for me?
Oh, the shiniest. And he actually pulls out a button that he recently found. It has a little tiger carved into it. He doesn't know what a tiger is, but like somebody, one of those big folks, has clearly spent a long time carving into this beautiful button. And as Phil makes the coffee, Anand stands still, listening, trying to feel the tautness that Phil speaks of.
Well, you'll be very well acquainted with it soon enough, for as the coffee is handed off and a button exchanged, you see two rats in well-tailored suits and small cigarettes coming out of their mouths, slowly approaching Phil from behind him. He has not yet seen them. You are not familiar with the political machinations of the rival families of Rat City, but you do recognize a look of malice when you see one, and right now you see two of them.
The best way to diffuse malice is friendliness. Good day, sirs!
You can see the hairs of Phil's, fur start standing up on the back of his neck, not anticipating sirs in any capacity, let alone from behind him, as he jerks around and says, "Phil, I believe you owe our family a pretty button, or several pretty buttons. I'm sure with your successful business you have what we're looking for, yes?" And you're seeing a look on Phil's face you've never seen before. Color draining from their facial fur, eyes darting back and forth, looking between his box where he keeps his bartered goods and these two gentlemen, almost as if it's perceivable that no, he does not have what he's looking for.
This is very strange to Anand. He has not encountered such behavior in Rat City before. I mean, he is fairly new, but this doesn't seem right. He goes and stands in front of Phil, facing the two gentlemen. Whatever the issue is, surely we could solve it over some coffee.
As you're saying the word coffee, you feel a small rat fist go right into your gut. And the other one, who isn't talking, just keeps hitting until you curve onto the ground, and the other one kneels down to look at you and say, "I'm sorry, are you with this freeloader?"
Anand is holding his coffee as he kneels over. He's holding it very close to him. He's never really engaged in violence before, but he knows that hot things hurt, and he looks up, rears up, and tosses the coffee into that rat's face.
When you have a hot coffee in the face, it's hard to hyperfixate on one specific area that hurts the most because it just hurts everywhere. And this fast-talking, threatening rat kind of curling back, clutching up their face like they're the Phantom of the Opera, and the other one knows the cue to take. When you attack one of us, you attack all of us, and you feel sharp, shoed kicks into your ribs, into your spine, into your tailbone, and eventually into your head. Your one and only weapon already disarmed, as the other one starts screaming, "Get that one as far away from me as possible. You, give me your fucking buttons."
Phil, run, Phil.
Phil, petrified with fear, this being one of the final things you remember saying as you feel another more powerful indenting kick into your skull. You try desperately to protect your friend from these thugs. What thoughts cross through your mind?
Anand has always thought of himself as a rat able to accomplish a lot. But today, he has seen the areas in which he hasn't paid enough attention. The charisma or learning how to manipulate people, that's not his strength. And he never took a self-defense class. He didn't spend enough time paying enough attention to the rats around him, focused more on creating a safer ratopia from the elements, but not from other rats. And he just hopes Phil gets away. And I think the last thing he thinks about, for some reason, it's like a mixture. It's mahjong tiles and the smell of maraschino cherry pie and the memory of home. He thinks of Ratsfield and all of the hopes he had for Ratsfield as his thing slowly goes dark.
A person who has considered themselves the first and greatest and potentially last hope for their hometown, fading from consciousness. You don't know what, if anything, happens to Phil. If you had the chance to think about it, you would hope for the best. Your life as you know it, ending here at the line of a coffee shop in the park. Some rats bearing witness, but as is common in a large city, that doesn't seem like my business, and I better not interfere if that's the result. You feel time pass in this blackened state as your mind thinks these thoughts and eventually fades out, but just as the fading starts to hit its peak, a small, sharp pain in your side, a lifting, a heavy breathing, a sense of panic.
I think of, as I'm lifted, I think of Rachman lifting the barrier, stopping the rain from drowning Ratsfield. And I wonder, is that who is carrying me to the next place?
In your final moments, devotion and hope. Our story so far has been taking place in Rat City, but circulating around one specific corner street in Rat City, where we see Pidge's Pie in the Sky. No matter what is going on in Rat City, one thing you can usually confidently rely on is the ability to get a hot slice from a kind purveyor of pastries and puffs and pies. And as we once again re-enter this establishment, not as customers this time, but as onlookers, Gina, who do we see when we see the titular Pidge?
Yeah, you see Pidge, that's me. Pidge is short for pigeon, that's my full name. Let's see, I'm just getting ready to start my overnight shift at the pie shop. It's my pie shop. It's a nice place, I think. The storefront is shaped like a pie in a tin, and it has the neon lights in cursive up at the top of the crust. Pidge's Pie in the Sky. About me, I don't know. I'm small. I'm round. I got soft fur, especially up around my neck here. I've been told that it's the color of cappuccino foam after it sits around in a cup for a little while. I got big dark eyes and ears that come all the way out to here. They're a little pointed at the ends, and a nose that's also a little pointed at the end. You're probably looking at my arms. It's okay. A lot of people do. I know they don't look like yours, but that's okay. They work just fine. I got all this extra skin here on my arms and legs and my arms and my sides, so it doesn't really have fur on it or nothing. It's kind of leathery, but that doesn't stop me from doing what I need to do. I don't know, I try not to focus too much on my physical appearance on account of, looking a little different than the rest of the rats here in Rat City. I mean, I lived here my whole life. Or I guess as much of my life as I can remember since I was adopted, and I don't really know where I was the first few weeks when I was a baby, but my mom always told me that there's nothing wrong with being different. Rat City is so great because every single rat here, there's only one of them, and that you're the only you, and I'm the only me, and no one can compare themselves to anyone because we're all one of a kind with that inner light in all of us, and there's never gonna be anybody else out there like... I'm sorry, I'm just having a hard day because my best friend is missing. She missed our nightly slice last night. That's what we call it, where she comes over to the shop after she gets out of the club, and I'm just about to start my shift baking, and I give her a new flavor of pie to try, and she tells me what she thinks about the pie and about a day and about the things that made her laugh and the things that made her mad and what she's looking forward to tomorrow, and she missed that, and I haven't seen or heard from her in over 24 hours, and now I'm hearing that maybe she might be... No, I'm not gonna believe what they're saying on the radio. They don't know her, and they don't know how fast she is, and they don't know how smart and resilient... resilient is a word. That means able to withstand or recover quickly from a difficult condition. I found that on one of those word of the day calendars that I keep in the back. It's real old. It's got a few years behind, and there's a bunch of markings and writings on it, but most of the days are still there, and every day's got a different word on it, and resilient was yesterday's.
The period of potentially mourning, hopefully just denial, punctuated by the fact that the newspaper's biggest headline has your best friend's full name and the words presumed dead on it on papers all over town, the thing that no one can stop talking about, and resulting in a small but noticeable spike in violence in the city as a potential battle for supremacy begins to unfold, but you do not have the time or the know-how to worry about the inner machinations of the rat families. All you know is Carmela didn't come in last night, and we don't want to presume the worst. And as you ponder that, as you read the next word on your word-a-day calendar, you hear the bell of your pie shop rings. This is the kind of ringing that happens not when someone is gently opening the door or just casually strolling in hoping for a slice. There's an aggressiveness to the ring, as if someone slammed into it, and the door reveals a rat that you have met a handful of times by virtue of being so close to Carmela. This is an older woman rat with an apron perpetually on, but an intimidating aura to them. You of course know that this is Francesca, the matriarch to the Lacerva family, and there is a sadness, an anger, a fear, and a hunger in their eyes, and they're trying to reconcile all of those emotions all at once, and you have been the chosen reconcilier of those emotions as Francesca slams her paws on your counter and just says, "Pidge!"
Mrs. Lacerva, hello?
Have you heard anything at all? I know you know what I'm talking about.
No, I haven't. She missed out.
Shit.
I'm sure she's okay. She's gotta be okay. You know, Carm. She's probably just she's probably taught them a thing or two. Whoever. Yeah.
I don't even know who would be. She's never done anything like this. She hasn't vanished in the papers. We didn't say nothing to the journalists, and they're already saying things like
They
presumed
just want to
death.
make
How
headlines.
can one
They just
presume
want
with
people
no
to buy the
information?
paper. You know that. They don't know what they're talking about.
This fucking town is so fucking cynical, you know? They just assume, like, oh, you know, famous person disappears, must be. I was hoping that maybe, I don't know. I figured if anyone would know anything, it'd be you. John Carlo's going on the rampage right now. It's not a good look for us.
Here, why don't you sit down and do you want to try a new pie? I got and I tie my apron around my waist and I turn back to the case of pies. I got let's see, what have I got? I got apple, I got cherry, I got brown banana cream, I got tuna, I got cheddar, hard-boiled egg, leftover crust, and bacon bits. I got fuzzy cheese, I got oats. I got just a bunch of oats and a pie crust. I got
Anything, you know, I'll take any of them.
Okay.
Whatever one you need to get rid of, I'll eat it. I haven't eaten since yesterday.
all right, and
It's just, it's hard. So, okay, I'll
I
take.
wish I had
thank you.
more information to get. I'm sure she's gonna come back. She's
No, it's
probably
okay.
she probably just went shopping and lost track of time and made some new friends, and she's gonna come back tonight and tell me all about it.
You know, Paige, for better or for worse, I am really glad a rat like you befriended a rat like our Carmela. I don't know where she is or what's going on here. I know John Carlo's gonna find out one way or the other, but I came here for 2 reasons. I guess 3 now. Thank you for just holding a hard-boiled egg pie on a plate, and says thank you for. I've always considered you to be one of the better rats among the riffraff Carmela would bring home at night.
That really means a lot.
I'm also just kind of coming here. I mean it, and I mean it because I'm gonna need you to kind of keep your distance from the LeServers for a bit. I was told not to go talk to anyone for a minute, but I was just worried about you specifically, because I don't want to getting back that, you know, the rat who runs the pie shop was close to our Carmela if she's missing or worse, and things are only escalating. So if anyone comes asking anything who doesn't look like me, you don't know us, and we're not gonna come around for a bit.
You want me to tell people that I don't know you?
For now. I don't know for how long. It's hard to say when things like this scuffle out. Sometimes it's a few hours, sometimes it can be a month.
Oh.
But for the time being, I need you to just not communicate with any LeServers you see, even if it's calm. If she's for some reason out there and she comes back, distance. I don't know who's following her. I don't know who's chasing her. I don't know where she is. But if you see or hear about us, no you didn't.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I can. I don't know you. Okay.
And a girl.
Sure, yeah, I can, I'll just be here, I guess.
That's the most important thing I need you to do. If anything if anything happens to Calm, A, I'm gonna tear Rat City a new one. You won't even recognize it anymore. They're gonna need 2 fucking mayors by the time I'm done with this place. But 2, if anything happens to you, I don't know what I'll do, but it won't be good.
Well, that's awfully nice of you to say, Mrs. LaServa. I appreciate
All right,
you
you
looking out
take care
for
of yourself.
me and all.
I know this is hard, okay? Trust me, no one knows better than me how hard this part of the lifestyle is, but I would just be beside myself if something happened to you specifically. Calm's other friends, I don't know. I'm not giving them the same courtesy. You, I am.
Well, that makes me feel awful special. So,
You should. You're a special rat. And if anyone tells you differently, well, I'd say come find me, but don't come
because
find
I don't
me.
know you anymore, right?
Because you don't know me. Exactly.
Okay.
So, if anything changes,
But we're
we'll
not gonna
figure
have
it
to
out,
really
but for
worry
now-
about that because Karma's gonna come back and it's gonna be a whole lot of nothing. All those papers and the radio rats are gonna realize how wrong they are, and then they're gonna have to be making a bunch of public apologies and all of that. So
if that's what happens, they'll be making apologies, all right, I'll tell you that.
do you want to take the rest of this pie to go?
No, normally I would say yes, but again, the box has your name on it, and I am who I am, so I can't
I can
this time.
scratch the name off of the box if that would help.
She puts like 2 little rat paws on your face, very gently, very motherly, very sweetly, gives you a kiss on both cheeks, and says, "You stay safe. Your kindness and your generosity is a trait you don't see in a town like this very often, and I worry it can get you in trouble. So all you need to do, little pigeon, is stay safe, okay? We wouldn't want your parents to learn anything happened to their little girl, right?"
I think her paws are still up on my cheeks and they're pressing my mouth shut. Okay. Thanks.
Good. Of course, takes the paws off. You bake a mean hard-boiled egg, by the way. Is that a
It's
family
secret
recipe?
recipe. Maybe one day I'll tell you.
If this all blows over, I'm stealing it. And then she just walks out the door.
I watch her leave and I listen for the bell to clang and the door closes. And I reach into my apron pocket and I pull out a large piece of paper that I've folded up a bunch of times, and you can tell I've folded it a bunch of times because the creases are soft, like it's been unfolded and looked at and then refolded again and again. And I look at it and I just think about how I'm not gonna let this crazy idea that Karma's missing, or worse, get into my head. Because I can't, because if I do, then I'll believe it, and if I believe it, then that means that she's really gone, and what am I gonna do if she's really gone? So I'm not gonna consider any of that. I'm gonna be hopeful. And I turn the page over so you can see today's word of the day. I'm gonna be, and I read it carefully, sanguine. It means, and I turn it back so I can read it again, it means I'm gonna be optimistic or positive, especially in an apparently bad or difficult situation. Just gonna be sanguine. That's all I can do. I gotta open up this, gotta get this shift going, or there won't be any pies for tomorrow.
Which leads us to that question that anyone who has had to deal with the uncertainty and looming mourning of the potential missingness or even loss of a loved one, how does one carry on at work when one's heart is this heavy, Pidge?
Carefully. I turn on some music. I turn on Quam's favorite radio station, and I just really focus on making sure that the dough is right and that the fillings are right and that I've done everything as well as I possibly can so that when Quam comes back, she can try my new favorite flavor.
You go about your day, customers come in and out. Some older, maybe chattier customers, as they are often wont to do, will ask things like, "You hear about that crime princess? Wow, what a city, huh?" And you have to hold on to your true feelings as the words of Francesca run through your mind. But eventually, as all workdays do, yours comes to an end. The streets quieter, the early semblances of morning sneaking through the sewer grates that make up the sky that is Rat City. And where does Pidge call home, or at least call their after-work haven?
Well, I live upstairs above the pie shop. It's just a little apartment, but it's got a back staircase off the back door of the kitchen, so I can just go up there and not have to worry about customers seeing me or it's just real nice to be able to have a soft little bed and a small table with my ma's old tablecloth on it and a little bouquet of flowers. And I got wallpaper that's printed like little rosebuds and yellow daisies. It's nice up there.
You settle in, a heavy day behind you, and as the eyelids start to get heavier, as the sleep starts to take you, you're more of an evening rat. The sunlight, for whatever reason, hasn't always agreed with you, makes you very tired. You go through the old routines in your mind, hoping, wishing for good news, thinking of all these ways, and then you hear one of them. You don't know if it's real, you don't know if it's your desires, your wants, your wishes, but that familiar, almost like a small stone tapping against your bedroom window by where a fire escape would be.
I sit up in bed and I look around. I look to the window. Do I see anything?
You do. Carmela, when we see you, you have been told your situation. You are awake and you are hungry. What does Pidge see when she looks out the window?
I think you're almost surprised to see her looking in such good shape. Her curly fur is not tousled at all. It's almost looking extra voluminous. Her stiletto nails are looking perfectly manicured. Not a scratch to be seen on her. Her makeup is flawless. Trench coat perfectly pressed. And she's kind of nervously pacing. Kind of just biting at the inner one of her lip.
If I see Carm, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna fly to the window, pull it open, and stick my head out. Carm!
Pidge,
See, I knew the radio was wrong. I knew all those rats in the paper and on TV didn't know what they were talking about. I knew you were okay. Where have you been?
lots have, happened.
What are you doing out there?
last
Come on
24 hours.
inside.
I don't know if that's a good idea, but,
What are you talking about?
yeah.
Why don't you want to come? Why wouldn't that be a good idea?
I was taken.
Taken where? What do you mean?
Yeah.
You're right here. Where were you taken?
I don't know. I was taken, but then I was, I woke up, I don't know what happened.
Come, this is silly. Come inside. I got pie for you. You want to try a new flavor?
Kinda, yeah. Yeah.
Come on inside. And I pull open the window a little bit more. I open up the window as much as it can go.
Carmela will just kind of effortlessly climb inside. She's always been, like, pretty nimble, but the way she gets inside is effortless.
Oh, that was fast. Come on, sit down. And I sort of tug you over to the table, and I pull out a chair for you. And I slide the little plate with a little fork on it with a slice of floating egg custard pie. This one's new.
Oh, egg custard. It smells good.
I hope you like it.
And she'll kind of just, like, pick at it a little bit, just, like, pushing it around with her fork.
So you were saying you were taken? What happened?
Yeah,
Taken by who?
with the family. I don't know.
Well, how did you get away?
But, I didn't.
What do you mean you didn't? You're right here. You clearly got.
Yeah. Well, I did. I was released. More trouble than I was worth. And I'm worth a lot.
Wait, I think I'm confused.
I'm confused too. I'm actually very confused. I don't know.
What do you think of the pie?
And she'll try like a little bite. She'll try the tiniest bite.
To eat this pie, you're going to need to make the first roll of our story here, Carmela. So you are going to make a willpower roll. You are going to roll your 5d10s for your willpower. I am looking for 3 successes in order to stomach this. So you're looking for 3 6s or higher.
Oh shit, alright. That's 2 9s, a 10. So that's 3 successes.
That is 3 successes. So tell me how you are able to stomach this pie that ordinarily you'd have no problem with, but all of a sudden you know better.
I think she is thinking about all of the fond memories she's ever had in the pie shop, and although she is kind of grimacing at the taste a little bit now, there's a smile on her face because she is in the presence with her best friend. It doesn't taste great to her. Pidge is perhaps none the wiser.
Pidge normally would recognize and would have been watching Calm's reaction to every flavor that she has to taste intently. But right now, she's just looking at her from across the table and so happy that her friend is back that she doesn't even notice that she hardly takes a bite. She doesn't notice that she is fighting her way through tasting this thing. And I think she just, after about maybe a second or two after Calm takes this bite, Pidge just gets up from her chair and moves over to Calm and wraps her up in a hug and says, Calm, I was just so scared. I didn't know where you were, and I'm so glad you're okay, and I'm so glad to see you, and I don't understand what you mean about not getting away, but you're here now, and I'm so glad to see you.
Carm, you now have the honor of making the second roll of the game as you feel the warm embrace of your best friend, something churning inside of you, that hunger you keep waking up with. I need you to make me a rouse check, which will be a single d10.
Well, that was a 1.
As Pidge is just running through this stream of consciousness, she also realizes that her mother had just been there to talk to her earlier in the day. And she kind of pulls back just a hair and is like, oh my god, your mother was here. We gotta tell her that you were okay. She was so worried about you. She came to visit me and she didn't know where you were, and I told her that you were gonna come back because I knew that you were gonna come back, and you're here. I can't believe you're here. I missed you so much.
The words of relief falling on hungry ears, Jenna. As Carmela fails that roll, all you can think is how good Pidge smells, how appetizing that is. Your stomach making roaring that you're certain the whole city can hear, but it's just inside your own mind's ear. And you have this urge, this uncontrollable sensation coursing through you. What does Carmela do with that?
Feeling this feeling for the first time and being reunited with her best friend, which is exciting. I don't think she knows quite what to do with these heightened emotions and this hunger and this enticing smell, this smell that smells so good, but it's not the pie that she's hungry for. And she'll pull Pidge in just a little bit closer and sink her teeth into her and just whisper, I'm sorry, kid.
Ow, ow. Ow, Cam, that hurts. What are you doing?
And just keep doing it.
You can't stop yourself. You just keep going. You know this can't be good for her. But another part of you just cannot stop. And Pidge, it hurts. You're right. You don't know why she's doing this. You don't know why she's doing it to you specifically. And you are losing blood faster than anyone ought to, as you just feel this pain keep going and getting deeper. What thoughts cross your mind?
I think the thing that just keeps coming back to me as I'm feeling this, because it is pain, but then it's not. It's this vacillation between fear and ecstasy, this sharp sting of embrace and this desire that I have to just be closer to her, and I'm feeling the life drained from me, like I'm floating closer and further away toward that inner light that my mom always talked about. I think it's just that as much as I have never really felt like I fit in here, I never felt that way with Karm. And I think there's a part of me that knows that this is it. But at least when it happens, I'm with someone who loves me.
Near the end of it, as the mind lets go, you could almost trick yourself, or maybe it truly does, start to feel nice. A weird comfort in your end being this way with this person. And maybe as the eyes close and the ears droop a smidge, you hear the sounds of vocal regret and the concerns of a person who never truly felt that they could turn to saints, but now is all of a sudden very strongly a believer in them. And the best place to learn about saints, of course, is at the Ratthedral. As we turn back the clocks of Rat City that our next rat is oh so familiar with tending to, we see the Ratthedral again. We see the sparse smattering of patrons and believers sitting in the pews. Freddy, who do we see when we see Barry Sunderson in the pews of the Ratthedral?
Yes, you see a short, much older rat. He is light gray fur. He's wearing like an apron over his front that has like one big pocket in the middle that's just spilling with little tools, like a little wrench, a little measuring tape, a little pick, all these teeny tiny little things. He's got kind of a short snout and like pudgy little rat cheeks, huge circular glasses that take up like half of his face. He's got long tufts of hair, like kind of long tufts of ear hair to like kind of indicate how old he is. He's got like kind of droopy whiskers and big, thick, full eyebrows. And he is just kind of seated at this pew in the Ratthedral with his head bowed, with his eyes closed. Not that you can really tell behind his glasses.
A frequent visitor to the Ratthedral. Is your head bowed in prayer or sleep or some kind of elder combination of the two?
It started as prayer, and if someone asks him, he will say it was prayer. That's all you need to know.
As you are thinking about your family's saint, looking for guidance, inspiration, simple meditation, and then drifting off into a light slumber. You feel the hand of the ratster of this rat-thedral on your shoulder, very gentle, very caring, a gentleman you have known for many months at this point now, ever since they took over for this rat-thedral. You've known a lot of ratsters in your life, but this one you have a special connection with, and you just feel a slight paw, your eyes jerk open to prove you were never truly asleep, and the simple phrase, "Welcome back, brother."
It's always good to see you, Rathias.
And always a pleasure to see you, my friend. I understand you wanted to speak to me about something, and I'm using your words here. Important?
Yes. Well, first of all, lovely sermon today, as always.
Thank you. I'm glad I could give you the meditations you were looking for.
Of course. It's almost subconscious at this point. But, yes, I wanted to talk with you about the Flynn kid, Tucker.
Yes. Would you mind stepping into my office in regards to that, actually? So we're not, gestures to the other two rats who are just kind of there, just, staring at windows.
Of course.
I don't presume anyone would eavesdrop, but it is a sensitive topic.
No, of course, you always know best.
He escorts you into a small little hole in the wall, if you will, when you have to get on all fours to enter through, and kind of sits you down on a chair. He sits behind a modest desk. This one actually built, made of the various driftwoods that come through the grates every now and again. A small pictured frame of a stained glass portrayal of Rathias' particular saint, not one that you subscribe to, but one that he has a tenderness towards. And he's kind of closes a little tiny rat door behind you and says, "The Flynn family, Tucker, their daughter, has been missing for a few weeks now, and there has been no hint or clue as to where she may have gone. I fear she might be a runaway."
It's just, Bridget has been so worried, and I want to reassure her and tell her it's going to be okay and that her friend's going to come back, but it's been a long time now, and I mean, we're all worried, we're all concerned, but she's just a kid. I don't want her to worry about that kind of thing yet.
I don't want to presume or put a negative thought into this already difficult world we live in. I share your concerns. Statistically speaking, a few weeks is longer than we would typically search for a missing rat. I want to hope for the best because there's been no news, and they say no news is good news. But
They do.
at a certain point, no news can become bad news. Now, as your spiritual advisor, I can tell you that with your granddaughter, Bridget, wonderful rat to have at our congregation. You've done a marvelous job with your son and your grandchildren. You are leaving behind quite the legacy as someone who has devoted their life to St. Rizzo and also to Rat City at large. So I will tell you what I would tell anyone, and perhaps this is a conversation that can serve a dual purpose. We are not blessed with long lives in the grand scheme of things. Therefore, we are put here as brief flames to do as much great good as we can. Not every story is etched into glass, but every story is remembered and passed on in stories and in legacies. Sometimes a person leaves us when it is correctly their time, and sometimes they depart from us too soon. But it is when they do either that we must retain our happy memories of them. So whether or not we see Tucker again, we can always hang on to Tucker. We can always hang on if you'll excuse my forwardness, to you, Barry.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, how could you? How could you? Now, I can only suggest that, of course, how you speak to your family is your right as their patriarch. So I just wanted to make sure you and I had that conversation, and that you know that I treasure you as a member of our congregation.
Of course.
Do you have
Well,
any concerns or anxieties apart from the Flynn girl?
With the Flynn girl, it's hard to say goodbyes, and as you say, in all ways, that's true, but tough conversations are the most important ones to have. And Barry looks over towards like a clock in the office of in Rethias' office, and looks back over to Rethias and says, "And time keeps ticking, whether we do or not."
You would know better than anyone, my friend. Well, I truly do hope that the time we have with you is well spent. Give your family the best for me, and of course, if we hear anything about the Flynn girl, if we hear anything about Tucker, you will be the first to know. Well, the second after we tell their family, I assume, but
Probably good.
probably the right
good order
thing
to
to
do.
do. Sometimes I'm saying things of comfort, and then the logical thing you will be told early is what I'm saying.
Great. I love being in second place.
Okay. Always a pleasure. I mean that, truly. Your dry wit has salvaged a lot of sermons, I will say.
Look, it's been a blessing being a part of your congregation and an occasional editor, but you will do just fine.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, it's that time where I have to start putting out candles and letting people know it's time to clean up and sweep up for the night, so I will allow you to return back to Bridget and Nikolai and the like.
Of course. I wouldn't want to overstay my welcome.
You never could, and if you ever need anything at any time of day or night, you know where to find us.
And I think Barry turns and goes back to the little hole in the wall, opens the door, crawls back through. It takes a little bit longer than you think it should as he closes the door behind him. And he's going to make his way to the Flynn residence because he knows that Bridget has been spending a lot of time with them, keeping them company while this search for Tucker has been going.
You are heading towards the Flynn residence. It's a modest home. The Flynns are not a wealthy family, but they are a large family. Their oldest, of course, being Tucker. Bridget has been there many nights to keep them company, help babysit some of the younger Flynns. And you knock on their door, and it is the father of the Flynn family who opens the door. This is George, and he looks despondent as he has the past couple of nights, and he says, Mr. Sunderson, yes, thank you for Bridget's just inside if you were here to pick her up.
Oh, lovely. George, I know this is difficult, but I just wanted you to know that you always have the support of our family, whatever you need.
I thank you. The thing I need is my girl back. I don't know what else to ask for.
We're doing everything we can.
I just, rats keep going missing and not being found, and I'm now concerned that with this, frankly, crime person going missing, that's going to take resources away from finding Tucker, and I'm frustrated, and...
Hey, if there's one thing Rat City has, it's rats. Just because there's a second search going on for that, for Carmela, doesn't mean that there isn't one going just as strong for your girl.
Boy, I hope you're right. I hope to Saint Stewart you're right. I will tell you that it has been a dark month in our home, and it's been a month, and anyway, I don't need to burden you with this. You understand our situation. Let me go get Bridget.
Barry looks around the room, and it is metaphorically dark, but it's also they haven't been putting on the lamps as it goes on, just because they've been so focused. It's kind of that feeling where you've been locked in on something, and you look up and you realize you're in a dark room because you've been too focused. And he goes over and strikes a match and lights one of the sconces and turns back and calls out, "And don't forget, lights the lamp, not the rat."
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Sunderson. And Bridget, thank you for everything you're doing for the boys. You're welcome here anytime. Door closes behind you, and you are on the sidewalks, the streets of Rat City, going back to your home, and you have a moment alone with your granddaughter.
Barry goes in for a hug with Bridget, who is slightly taller than he is, and she says, "Oh, it's good to see you, my little breadcrumb. How are you doing?"
You saw me literally yesterday.
I know, but that was yesterday, and today is today. Every day is a new day, a new gift, and so are we. And speaking of gifts, Barry reaches into his apron pocket and pulls out a single jelly bean, which I suppose would be roughly the size of a squash. Now, I know every tooth in your mouth is a sweet one, but don't go eating this all at once. You'll get a stomachache.
She's half the bean in her mouth, what? Oh, right. Yeah, I'll pace myself. You got it, Grandpa Baba. How are you, by the way?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm doing everything that needs to be done.
Like what? What do you have left to do? Were you at the clock shop again, or?
Well, I was having a talk with Rathias earlier today, and I didn't want to bring it up to the Flynns, because I don't feel like that's my place to do, but gosh darn it, you're my granddaughter, and if someone's gonna tell you, then, well, I think it should be me. And you've been working so hard on searching for Tucker. I've seen your flyers all around the city, and all the work that you've been putting in to search yourself, and I just want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself through all this as well. And as much as I hate to say it, it's been a long time now, and I think some preparations might be in order.
She's not coming back, right?
I don't think she is.
Yeah, I just don't get it, I think, is the problem. Because I don't get why she would leave. You know, the Flynns are all so nice, and I don't know why she never felt like there were things here for her. I keep hearing, oh, she ran away, but why?
I understand it's difficult, but sometimes we're just not gonna know things. Rat City is so big, and Rat City at the same time, it's so small. There's so much more than this city, and to have all that knowledge in one brain is impossible. There have to be gaps, and right now I'm afraid she lives in the gaps. But she also lives in you. She lives in her family. She lives in the community. And she'll always live there as long as there are rats who remember. They say that every rat dies twice. Once when they die, and once when they're no longer remembered. So it's gonna be up to you to keep her alive.
I can do that. I know all her weird stories.
And you make sure you tell everyone who will listen.
Okay, I can do that at least. I'm still sad, but I can do that.
And you'll be sad for a while. That's part of it. What would it mean if you weren't sad, right?
The thing that you've been thinking about for some time now, the ticking of a clock in your head, starts to slow, starts to trickle down, your heart accelerating and slowing and skipping here and there, a sensation only you could know is coming, and it seems to be here during this conversation.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to speak with my husband for a little bit.
Sure, it's weird that you still call Grandpa Nicky your husband. I know who Grandpa Nicky is.
Well, I know that you know who he is, but I want to emphasize who he is to me.
Okay. Whatever you say. Okay, well, at least let me get you to your place, and then I'll let my dad know what's going on with the Flynns.
Of course. You're such a brave little girl. And I love you so much. Don't you ever forget that.
I love you too, Baba. Thank you. Do you think the pie shop's open?
I think so.
I guess I'll go find out.
I've been there later than this. You know how I get my cravings.
Oh, they have that one rat who works late. That's right. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get pie for my dad and also maybe for me, because she looks down at her hands that are covered in jelly bean juice, bean gone, and it's just like I feel like I need dessert.
You're gonna have such a bad stomachache. I'm just warning you right now. I hope that every time you eat 2 desserts, you hear my voice in your head saying, this is gonna hurt.
Yeah, but I'm also gonna hear your voice in my head saying, some pain is worth it. It means you were alive, so ha ha ha.
You got me there, kiddo.
Tell me about your home here, Barry. You will find Nikolai home, of course, dismissed from their academic duties thanks to one ambitious student who wanted to take on some further responsibility. So he is home for a change. What do we see as you return to your homestead?
It literally is the home of like a tinkerer and a professor. There are things strewn about everywhere in a way that both of us know exactly where every bit of both of our things are at all times. But if you asked any other person, it would be downright incomprehensible. There's books, there's gears, there's papers, there's tools. It's all like scattered in a way that's like, it's almost like there are certain paths that you have to walk through within the home in order to be able to like still navigate. But it's a system that works for us both.
Your door opens, and before you can even call out, you just see the not as old as you, but a beginning to silver rat head pop up from behind a stack of papers, a pile of research and blueprints and drawings. Just kind of like perk up and go, "Oh, hello, good."
Nicky, hello. And I trot over like in a little like kind of a little pudgy rat. I just pop over and I kind of hop up and give him like a little smooch on the nose.
It's reciprocated, and he just like looks at you and goes, I figured you must be at the church or with Bridget. Is everything okay with you?
Oh, of course. And you would be right on both counts. That was where I just was and then where I was before that, but now I'm here.
Did you fall asleep in the pew again? Because it's a little late.
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
If you say so. Um, I took some time off of work.
Oh, what for?
I'm just gonna cut to the chase here. I'm worried about you a little bit. You've been attending the Cathedral more often than not, and that, of course, is your faith, and we respect that in this home. And even though I'm not exactly sure what light the lamps, not the rat means, I know that it means a lot to you. And I have just noticed that maybe we've both been involved in our own worlds, and maybe it was time to bring them back together for a moment.
Nikki, you know me too well, I'd say. But I suppose that's what the time will do.
You've been together as long as we have. So, I have a small surprise here for you. I know that there's been a certain kind of a clock that you've been wanting to get your hands on for a while, and I stopped by a few different places on the way home from work, and well, it doesn't work, but I did find this, and he just he's holding it like it's a grandfather clock in one person's hand, and it's this large gold wristwatch with Roman numerals marking the 1 through 12, and two little hands that look like they could be mouse fingers in gloves pointing in either direction. A carving on the back of it that just says happy birthday. Don't know what that's about, but it found its way into the city, and he goes, I know you've been looking for something akin to this.
Oh, Nikki, it's beautiful.
Just wanted to give you a token of my appreciation, and I know I've been busy at work and with my tutoring and whatnot, but I wanted to say again that I see you and I care for you and I love you, and I saw this and just got so excited.
Well, Nikki, if we are doing gifts, I've been working on something for you as well. Let me go grab it right quick. And Barry scurries towards the back of the home and takes a stairwell down towards his own more focused workshop area. And he pulls a tarp off of it's like a tablecloth, but it's a handkerchief off of what he's been working on, and he takes this small clock and he runs it back up to Nikolai. Kind of goes up to Nikolai with it still facing away from him, the face facing away from him. Now don't think that I haven't heard you and Anand talking, so I've been working on this for a little while, and I hope you like it. And he'll turn it around, and it is again kind of like a wristwatch. Barry has buffed out the number 6 at the bottom and recarved a slice of pie and inked that so that it's always displays as pie time.
I'll never forget now.
You won't.
I
You
won't be
already
surprised.
didn't. But now I'm reminding you.
Well, now when I think of pie time, it will remind me of you. I've been up for a while, and I think all the excitement. This is gonna sound funny coming from me, I know, but my older bones are getting kind of weary, so I was going to retire for the evening if you wanted to join, or did you have...
I think I'm gonna go say one more prayer for the Flynns first.
I understand. I do know you're worried about that girl. No news, I assume?
No news, and I was talking to Matthias, and I think that's not good news this time.
Yeah, as time goes on, as they say. Well, then if I don't see you tonight, I will see you in the morning.
Barry nods and says, "See you soon."
And you return to the Cathedral and you find your favorite spot on your favorite pew. Nobody seems to be present. Maybe a flickering candlelight from Matthias's office. But what do you do now that you're here?
Yes, Barry kind of like shuffles over into his pew, and he kind of like does the old man thing where like sitting makes you grunts, and he just kind of is just like and he looks around at the rat cathedral, and his eyes like lock on the mural of the rats, kind of side by side with the blue figure with the curved nose. And he says to himself, "Saints, save my little broken body." And he looks across and he sees like the quote unquote organ piano that's in the rat cathedral. It's a toy piano. It's like the kind of thing where it's like a glorified xylophone, where it's like it has like the little metal planks, and when you press a key, it like shoots up a metal mallet from below that like makes it ring. And he gets back up from his pew, and he goes over, and he sits down in front of it, and he reaches into his little pouch on his apron, and he starts setting things onto the piano. He takes out a picture that he has. It's from Bridget's middle school graduation, because they had a little service for it, and he was always like, "This is dumb. It's middle school." But he still cherishes the photo of like him and his son Ritz holding up Bridget. He sets that photo on the piano. He takes out another photo of a younger him and a younger Nikolai, and sets that on there as well. It's from their honeymoon. And he reaches into his pouch and he pulls out one last thing. It's a very weathered, scratched up, time-worn clock. It's the first one that he ever worked on. And he like looks at it, and he looks up at the clock in the cathedral and confirms that they match. And he puts a hand across it and like tenderly rubs it over and says, "Oh, reliable." And he's gonna set it in his lap. And he looks back at the piano, and he kind of like blinks a few times in that way of like keeping yourself awake when like the fog is like creeping in the sides of your vision. And he remembers a song that he heard. He can't place where it was from. It was like, maybe he heard it at Francesca's on a date with Nikolai. Maybe he just heard the echo of it in the distance from one of the grates above. But he goes to the piano. He lifts up his little rat paws, but you can press one key at a time. And he plays the song with all the skill or lack thereof of someone who only knows to play this song by like, these are the keys that I play in this order to play this song, and that's all he knows. And he sings along with it as he plays. And he sings, "We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds And Barry tips over to the side. The watch in his lap falls to the ground and shatters, freezing in place. Because Barry lasts as long as the clocks tick, and the clock ticks as long as Barry lasts.
The ticking of this clock that you've been holding, the ticking in your head, finally crawling like a rat on their belly to a stop. But just as the final few ticks of your mind click through, you can see the outline, the shadow, the visage of a familiar missing figure. A voice that you have heard through your granddaughter's entire life, watching you fall from the piano bench onto the floor, almost seeing as if they were trying to catch you but missed at the last moment, as you feel in your waning moments your head cradled by two young paws, and then an apology whispered in your ear that simply says, "I am so sorry, Mr. Sunderson." You hear this apology, and then a sharp pain that relents into something nicer. This must be what it feels like, someone ushering you into your next life. And you do receive your next life, Barry Sunderson, as your eyes flicker open, not in some rat paradise, not among the saints, not among family, but looking at the eyes of Matthias Templeton, who only says these words to you: "Welcome back, brother." Far away from the Ratfedral, however, and before the instigation of a new breed of rat takes the city, we see an overturned watering can near the outskirts, but still well within the city limits of Rat City. And on the inside of this watering can, we see a young rat who is close to cracking the biggest story of her young career. Abby, who do we see when we see Peachy?
Peachy LaRue is bent over a grand piece of machinery. It comes from above, perhaps crafted by the hands of the rat saints themselves. It pops squares in and produces your own voice back at you. So truly, this is the words of a prophet. Peachy herself is not exactly what one would expect the next rat saint to look like. She is pink and fetal in appearance, tiny even for a rat of her age, wrapped up in a bright red scarf patterned with hearts as she speaks her words, her gospel into what we would know as a tape recorder.
And this is where Big Flea truly takes precedence. Why are rats disappearing? It's because Big Flea needs more vessels. And what is a better vessel than a rat? Full of blood vessels and...
Oh, the tape stopped 5 minutes ago, and she uses her tiny little pink paws to press a button, and the tape pops out. It's the size of her body, but the watering can is filled with the wonderful acoustics of a very out-of-shape, very greasy little rat trying to drag this out. Unfortunately, with rat casting, there aren't services to upload, so Peachy just leaves her tapes out in hopes that somebody can listen.
How much traction do you feel like you've gained by virtue of recording your thoughts and leaving the messages?
Well, that crooked mare, she knows me by name, of course, Peachy LaRue, the rat spiricist. spirits. That's what they all called. That's probably what they called some of the saints before they ascended. Well, she has me banned from her office completely. In fact, my face is on several posters. This is, however, the kind of oppression a future saint should expect. Therefore, with my rat casting, it shall not cease.
With your recording completed, what do you do with these tapes?
We just see Peachy trying her very best to drag out this massive tape and leave it somewhere relatively dry where those with ears to listen will hear the good work.
Those with ears to listen, those who have the heartbeat of Rat City, the true underbelly under their paw's thumb. And one of those rats who may have the ears to listen, one who may be more willing than the general populace to believe the words of a potential saint, or at least a fellow believer that there's more going on than meets the eye, would be you. Kendo, who do we see when we see Bellamy?
When we see Bellamy, we see a tail poking out of a dumpster somewhere dark in an alley. There is the sound of rummaging as the trash of trash is thrown out and kind of scattered along the streets. Before there is a pause and a kind of low grunting, maybe the sounds of discovery. Yeah, there it is. And popping out of the trash as the tail kind of slides into the dumpster as Bellamy reorients himself inside, and just popping out of the top of it is a small dark fur paw, and in their hand a tape, and coming out from it, popping further up, we see Bellamy, a kind of broad rat with tired eyes, a cigarette lit in his snout. He scrambles out of the trash can, kind of knocking it over and crawling out onto the ground. His white button-down shirt has been unbuttoned and is stained with trash, with a dark tie kind of loosely hanging around it. Bellamy pockets the tape for a moment, picking up the trash off the ground and putting it back into the dumpster after reorienting it, and taking his suit jacket that he had kind of placed on the ground next to the trash before hopping in, and like resituating it on, making sure he's as clean as he can be, despite the fact his shirt is just absolutely soaked with the worst possible trash juices you can imagine.
What brings Bellamy to dumpster dive in this fashion? What is so important about the things they can find in these receptacles?
People are always just throwing away the best stuff. You never know what you can find in the dumpster. It's where everything that's long lost and forgotten ends up anyway. And it's that kind of shit that helps tie together loose pieces, strands on a board that don't seem to have another end. You can always find the string that binds it all in the trash.
Looking for the strings that connect the world together through the discarded remnants of those who are choosing to forget. While you are rummaging through this dumpster, while you have located this tape, you see another rat encroaching in this alley, cautiously, slowly approaching the dumpster, clutching a similar artifact to the one you hold in your hand. And we once again see you, Peachy, as you realize you are not alone in this alleyway.
Oh, Mr. Rex! Mr. Rex, it's me! Peachy! I have new words.
BT, good to see ya. What's the word? I'll lend you an ear.
Your ears are the most gracious throughout Rat City. Truly, the new word
There's a thunk as the tape is dropped at your feet.
I believe the fleas, Big Flea, are kidnapping rats. That's the reason for all the disappearances as of late. Big Flea is conducting some kind of thing, and the mayor is in on it.
The mayor?
Why else would she ban me from her office, if not to protect Big Flea?
You got a point there, PT. You got a point there. You know, I've been thinking about this Big Flea thing ever since you told me, and I think I'm seeing the connections. You know how fleas are always sucking our blood?
Always. That's why I think I was blessed to be born hairless, so the fleas don't have anything to hold on to. And it's my duty to protect everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe if the fleas are sucking our blood, maybe they're kidnapping us to make them into, kind of living blood banks. Something that they can just dip into whenever they want.
From my mouth to your ears, truly, that's what I said in the latest tape.
We're always on the same wavelength, PT. Always on the same wavelength.
Peachy's tiny little pink hands and they are clammy and sweaty and oily. Just rapid fire shake.
Mr. Rex, we are going to stop Big Flea before it has the chance to pupate.
I like the sound of that. Last thing we need around here is more rats disappearing. It's already a cold, cold world out there. We need more rats to keep it warm.
You're telling me.
And she tucks her little hairless pink head deeper into her scarf.
Speaking of, have you heard of any new disappearances?
The big disappearance, of course, the name on everyone's tongue right now, is the disappearance of famous crime family daughter Carmela Lacerva, but only publicized to the general public, but maybe for you two who have the ears to hear, know about a small handful of other small family-style disappearances.
I think Bellamy takes two things out of his suit pocket. He reaches inside, and the first one is a small notepad that is thankfully been saved from the trash juice and stays mostly intact. He flips it open and starts reading off a couple of names of the people who he at least knows has disappeared. The second thing that he pulls out of his pocket is a packet of Rat Bros cigarettes, which has a white box, red trim, and two rats smoking cigarettes together on a park bench on it. He takes out one of those cigarettes, puts it next to the one in his mouth that was slowly getting to its end, takes out that cigarette, and then uses the end to light the second cigarette before crushing it in his hands and pocketing it. He won't be littering today.
Peachy just yanks at her, wrinkles the way that one would tug at their hair in a nervous tick.
Oh, Mr. Rex, don't you know that Big Flea wants you to weaken your lungs so they can suck off your blood better?
I welcome them to try, PT. I welcome them to try, but my blood's gone sour years ago.
Oh, it's a preventative measure. I see. Could I have a puff?
Oh, of course. And I take out another cigarette. I light it with my cigarette and I hand it to Peachy.
Peachy she holds her whole hand with it, puts it up to her mouth, and holds her breath.
Nicotine poisons the blood, which makes fleas die. I watched it happen once. You should. Okay, yeah, no. Come on. And I go and I pat Peachy's back. The first one's always the hardest.
As Peachy struggles with their first cigarette, an unmarked black toy car flashes its headlights at you in the alleyway. The car is long. It looks like something that a rich kid's family would have gotten them and then been grumpy that it wasn't the exact color that they wanted, so it found its way into the sewers. But this is the car in front of you with headlights flashing. A rat opens the passenger side door. You can see a small remote control in the front seat. and the rat wearing these dark glasses, a very prim and proper suit, steps out and says, Bellamy Rex, Peachy LaRue?
Who's asking?
You from the mayor's office?
Better. Giancarlo Lacerva's asking.
You have a strange definition of better.
Well, would you rather be tangled with the most powerful rat in the city or the mayor?
All right. Yeah, that's us.
The rat tilts their head towards the back seat of the car, implying that they would like you to get in.
Okay. I walk over to the car and I take off my jacket again and I lay it down on the seat before sitting in, so I don't get any of my trash juice on what I can only imagine are wonderfully leather seats. Do they do leather here?
Probably not leather. Rats are very big on close amalgamations of what they can observe from human culture. So it's probably more like some plastic that has been painted and scented to resemble leather. Not that you'd have any frame of reference for that.
Okay, well, I mean, obviously that's what the cheap poor cars have, but this obviously has seats
I feel
that
like the
are
seats
made
are
from
velvet.
Either velvet
Sure.
or I'm thinking of fake leather that's been taken off of human purses that have been thrown away.
Oh god, there's just a Coach
There
logo
it is.
as you just hear the squeak, squeak, squeak of greasy little Peachy sliding in next to you.
Yeah. You you enter this Kate Spade limousine.
Yeah, sorry about the juice.
There is a bizarre silence in the car as you apologize. You can see the silhouette of a rat on the opposite side of you. This is one of those cars, of course, where you have one side facing another for private conversations. But you do see one rat with a different rat with sunglasses, arms folded, waiting at the edge of the limo for you two to enter.
Does it seem like they would mind if I smoke inside the car?
No, you can probably see one of them already smoking.
Okay, cool.
Peachy is greasy, and you can hear the squeak as she slides in next to Bellamy. Cigarette still clutched in her little fist.
You enter, the car door closes. You hear the squeak of control sticks whirring, tires trying to echo and mimic the sound of tires squealing as you start slowly drifting in the alleyway. A light turns on and you see the visage of one Giancarlo Lacerva. Most rats are aware of Giancarlo Lacerva. He is a large and imposing rat. You can tell that this man oozes things like power and charisma. He does not seem angry, but he does not seem happy either. He seems to be holding an expression that defies interpretation. And as the lights turn on to reveal this rat, he reaches into his coat pocket and he pulls out a small tape. And he tosses it onto the floor in front of both of you and says, "You have interesting theories about what goes on around here."
Just a moment, camera zooming out on Peachy. Big, sparkly, wet eyes.
You listen to my theories? You know what the big flea's doing and the latest with the milk carton missing boys?
He raises up a single paw and says, "I've listened here and there. There are pieces of your investigation that intrigue me. For you see, you were speculating about my daughter on one of these tapes."
See, Peachy at the time tied it to what are called the milk carton boys, 3 rat boys who vanished. They were last seen looking for frog eggs around a milk carton. Peachy thinks that perhaps Carmilla may have been attached to one of these boys and went looking for her lost lover there, only to get grabbed by Big Flea.
You, Miss LaRue, are the only rat in Rat City who seems to be publishing opinions that don't involve my daughter being dead.
Of course not. And it's not just me. Bellamy Rex here. The Bellamy Rex. If it weren't for their detective brilliance, I would never have figured out where Big Flea's victims came from.
Oh, we're well aware of the work of Mr. Rex. Bellamy, in your quote-unquote career as a quote-unquote detective, what is the biggest case you've solved?
The biggest job that I would have taken that Giancarlo is probably most familiar with, because it has something to do with the Lacervas itself, is when Nibbles, Alto, one of those disgraced cousins of the Altos, there are so many of them, but Nibbles faked the murder of one of the Lacerva's lieutenants and tried to pin it on the Basiotti family. But something wasn't adding up. And I got to the bottom of it. And I was able to tie it back to the Altos, seeing that Nibbles was trying to start a gang war, that he was trying to, clear up some territory for him and his boys to be able to take over. Little did Nibbles know, Bellamy always smells a rat.
Giancarlo nods appreciatively towards you and says, Mr. Rex here has gotten us out of a pretty significant jam in the past. Really helped us avoid a peon nightmare, if you will. I am a very respected business owner in the city, after all. So, when I start seeing news clippings and the papers and journalists and whispers saying my daughter, my intelligent, capable, beautiful daughter, Carmela, just presumed dead, you would understand why I struggle to believe such a thing. And if there's two rats in this city who could, I don't know, do me one other kindness, I would think it'd be you two.
I appreciate the thought, of course, sir, but I wouldn't see it as what I did as a kindness to you, as much as I just care about the truth.
So do I. I care so much about the truth. And he gestures to the other rat sitting in the car with you, and he opens a tiny suitcase, and inside of that tiny suitcase you see more buttons and apple cores and all sorts of wonderful things that a rat could need to live very comfortably for a long time, even if split in twain. And he says, because I am offering something very kind in exchange for a kindness.
Oh, Brie St. Cheddar, that's a lot of cheddar.
Could you imagine how you could sleep on those buttons? Oh my.
Sure beats a watering can, I would think.
You know where I live?
Oh, the servers know a lot of things, Miss LaRue.
Whoa.
So this is the deal. I want my daughter found, I want her brought back. I want her alive. I want the truth to be found out. Do this for me, and this suitcase and my eternal gratitude are all yours. Now, of course, like any offer I make, this is very hush-hush, not to be discussed or denied. You, of course, have the freedom to reject my kindness, but you may be under more scrutiny going forward if you do so.
I think Bellamy looks over to Peachy to get a sense of where they're at.
So rats do this fun little thing. It's called bruxing. They will grind their teeth together. It's how they purr, but their eyes will also boggle out of their skull. And right now, Peachy is bruxing quite excitedly. She's trying to be chill about it, but her little popping boba eyes say that this is life-changing amount of buttons.
Well, this certainly does kind of seem like an offer we can't refuse. And I'd be a bad friend if I didn't, You see how she looks, and just kind of points towards Peachy.
Yeah. Of course. Well, Bene then. Consider this deal struck. The suitcase closes, that other rat fades into the shadows, the car slows to a stop, and says, I'm not going to give you a specific time limit on this, but I am sure you understand that with matters of survival and finding a person alive as opposed to dead, ASAP would be preferred.
Of course.
Wonderful. Meatball, you may let them out of the limousine, please. A nervous, teenaged rat opens the car door for you, and you are politely, gently escorted out back into a different part of the alley you found yourselves in.
I can practically hear the cockroaches skittering around in your skull. That means you have an idea. Theories? You wish to share them?
Always have my theories, PT, but, whenever the servers are involved, I can only imagine the altos not being too far behind.
Of course. And they would always come back to that filthy, rotten mare and her oligarchy and banning me. I've always seen the altos very cozy in her office. That would be a good place to start. If Big Flea is getting any servants, it's probably through the altos.
Yeah, but don't forget, you can't be seen around there. So, I'll take point there, and you've got a disguise.
Yeah, she takes up her scarf and she wraps herself up, and she's boggling excitedly. You can see her little eyes just popping out from her scarf.
Okay. We'll go there. We're just taking a look, see if we see any altos, see if we see any, strange people coming in and out of the mayor's office. And I might let's stop by the couriers. I think I got a letter I want to send.
Yes. I know the loitering rules around here. You're allowed to do so for about 10 minutes before it becomes suspicious. I know this by heart. Ask me how I know.
How do you know, PT?
Because the mayor did that. I had a timer.
You know what? I had a sense of those things. But I always love hearing it from your mouth.
Her little tail just twitches excitedly.
I should probably stop by my place. Don't want to, we're already going to probably stand out being as, you're known and all. And I don't think standing around in trash juice outside the mayor. Actually, maybe this could work. And he's going to take off his suit jacket, just leaving the kind of disgusting, trash-covered clothes on. Takes his notebook and a pack of Rat Bros cigarettes out to stuff them in his pockets. And just kind of looks around. Is there anybody else in, around here? Anyone who looks like they could use a jacket?
Well, what an interesting thing to ask. Anyone who looks like they could use a jacket, hard to say, because while you find yourself believing that you were alone in this alley looking to discard something off of you, you hear the large rattling of a metal trash can, the screaming squeak of a rat, and then the scampering of paws away from what sounds like the scene of a crime.
Hey, whoa, no, yes! Hey, get back here! And
Peachy falls flat on her face.